Welcome to yet again another episode of Monday Movie Pickup. So it's actually a lot of Oscar winners this week, mostly because I've started to look at my Amazon list again because I wanted to get all the Oscar winners on Blu-ray or DVD if it's only available on DVD, the Oscar winners for Best Picture. And some of them started to go out of print, so I had to start looking for eBay listings to find anything that I could bid on or anything that happened to be a lower price. So I got a bit lucky in the past week. So we're going to leave the Warner Brothers stuff aside for now because it's, once again, like last week, a lot of Warner Brothers stuff. But we're going to start out with a little film titled Marty. A lot of people maybe don't know about this one. I actually watched this in a screenwriting class, and I haven't ever watched it again since. It's a very good movie, and it won the Best Picture in 1955. So it was part of the movies that I want to purchase that have won Best Picture. This is actually a Kino release. It doesn't detail any special features on the back, so I actually have no idea if there's any extras with this disc. With Kino, I'd be a little surprised if they don't have additional features, because they do so much with their discs and they add so many extra things. If I can look for it quick, because I had the Pink Panther movies that were released by Kino, and they actually list their special features. So since this one doesn't list any, sadly there probably isn't any. This was released in 2014, and this one was released in, man, do they not even list a year? Okay, well, I'm pretty sure this one came out in 2017, so maybe they changed how they did their discs at that point, but chances are there's probably no special features with this movie, which is pretty unfortunate, but it's Best Picture winner, and it was a disc that is sadly going out of print from what I saw. It might be available still on the Kino site, but I couldn't find a link for the Blu-ray, and from all the listings on Amazon and eBay, it made it apparent that the price is going up. So I have here Broadway Melody. This is not out of print. This is a movie, the second movie ever to win Best Picture, and this is a Warner Brothers DVD release. This is a pretty early release too. This is 2005. So Warner did a pretty good job about getting all their Oscar winners on DVD. I own a couple of them. Some of them even were 2-disc sets, so they gave careful attention to their Oscar winners and their, other classics. Some of their classics are more popular than these Oscar winners. Like, nobody really knows much about Broadway Melody nowadays, and often when you look at the list of best Picture movies, this is often towards the bottom of the rank. And I don't really know much about it. All I do know is that there was a color sequence originally offered with the film that is now lost, so the whole film's now in black and white only. And I can assume that that's maybe the only reason that this has never been released on Blu-ray, because maybe Warner Brothers is hoping to find the color sequence at some point or do something to bring the color back for that sequence and then release it on Blu-ray properly. Who knows? I mean, we're also at a point now where the idea of selling Blu-rays is only becoming a thing if Criterion or Shout Factory's doing it. A lot of studios are starting to kind of go away from Blu-ray, or at least special editions. So I don't know if a Broadway Melody special edition is going to come from Warner Brothers, but possibly it could show up through Criterion if they offered it to them. It could even show up as a bonus feature on a different movie set, something that Broadway Melody could maybe be shown as a double feature with through Criterion. So they've done that at times where they have 2 movies on one disc just as a bonus feature. So I've never seen it. Gonna give it a try, because with buying the Best Picture winners, I'm also trying to give them a watch. This is probably my most exciting purchase. So Mutiny on the Bounty. So I had no clue that this was going out of print for quite a while, and the price was very high. This was a one-time release, and unlike a lot of the digibooks that they've done, this one doesn't have a second release on Blu-ray, as far as I know. It was never released in a simple case, kind of like this. It was only ever in the digibook form, and it's never been released again. This was the winner of the Best Picture in, I believe it was, 1935. And I don't know why they put this sticker on here. I don't know if it was a misprint. I tried taking it off, but it was actually scratched out as well. So it was scratched out, and then there was a sticker put here. I don't know why, but I'm guessing it was a misprint at first, and then they just put stickers on all of them. But anyway, I don't know much about this movie either, but I did know that it was out of print, so if you're looking for this movie, try to get it while you can. I got this actually as a purchase from Spain. This is not a region code film either. This isn't region code B or anything. This is actually region code A. I got it for a pretty good price. It just had to fly out of Spain, so most of the purchase went towards the shipping, but it ended up being fine because in the end it still was cheaper than all the other listings. So happy to finally add this to my collection. And as far as I realized, I went through all of my Best Picture stuff, and besides stuff that I already knew was far out of print or really expensive or I don't really care to pick up yet, everything else I'm good on so far right now. But I gotta pay attention to that list because it's a list I want to finish, and I want to make sure I can finish it without spending all the money in the world. I have A Star Is Born here. This is also a digibook release, and no reason to really get the digibook. I believe this actually does have a second release. It's on a regular clamshell case. However, clamshell, did I call this a clamshell? The blue plastic cases, jewel case, I guess is what they would be called. But in any case, I think this has a second release, but don't quote me on that. It actually, I believe, is getting a release through the Warner Archive. So there is still a chance to get this, similar to A Streetcar Named Desire, which also had a digibook release years ago that went out of print, but now has a release through Warner Archive, which I picked up. But in this case, the digibook was still affordable, so I bought this instead of waiting for the Warner Archive release. It might actually be out now even. And I'm just trying to finish all the Star Is Born films. I know there was another Star Is Born release for the original one from the 30s. I believe was done through, I want to say, I believe it was Kino. I wouldn't quote me on that, but I'm pretty sure Kino released that, the original 30s version, which, from what I understood, you can find it on YouTube, but I don't know if it's actually out of print. It probably isn't. That happens a lot, it seems like, with YouTube lately, where there's like a lot of older movies showing up that are not out of print, but apparently nobody cares. It's like Abbott and Costello. A lot of their movies are just showing up on YouTube, but they are not out of print. All the Universal ones are not out of print, but you can find a lot of them on YouTube. But anyway, Star Is Born. I'm also going to get the 70s version, which is available through Warner Archive, and I do actually have the other version from 2018, which I enjoyed a lot. I believe I even put it in my top 10 films of 2018. I haven't given it another watch since then, so maybe it's not as good as I remember, but I remember liking this a lot, even though it was pretty generic with its storytelling. It was still just told so well. But apparently now there's an encore version of this movie, which is an extended cut of the film, so even if I'm trying to finish my Star Is Born collection, I still have to buy the 2018 one again. So it never ends. And it's funny, I just went off about how, studios are no longer doing special editions for movies on Blu-ray, and yet Warner just did one for A Star Is Born, so clearly that's not true. And then I have The Right Stuff. Now, I actually did bid on the digibook of this film, which came with the extra disc. However, someone outbid me, I gave up, and I found out there's actually this version of the movie, which, not a digibook, but it was much more affordable, but doesn't come with the extra disc. I didn't care, though, about the extra disc because I found out that the extra disc is just a DVD, and it's the second DVD that can be found on the earlier DVD release of The Right Stuff, which that DVD is still affordable, and I guess when they did the digibook, they just released the same disc that they made years prior with the new Blu-ray and the new transfer, so all I have to do now is get that older DVD. So we'll see when I get to that. Maybe I should do it before that starts going up in price. But The Right Stuff. I started watching the television show on Disney Plus, and it was okay. I haven't finished it. I didn't keep up with it because it wasn't as entertaining as I was hoping to be, but it had a good production value. But if anything, it made me more interested in watching the original film. I'm trying to get all the Hitchcock films on Blu-ray and DVD, but some of them have really bad DVD transfers that don't even have a good Blu-ray release out there, or there's not a better transfer, so in some cases, some of these Criterion Laserdiscs are the best way to get the movie. So I had Young and Innocent from the last episode, which was from a Criterion Laserdisc release. Now I have Sabotage, which, like I said, Young and Innocent and Sabotage had a release in France on Blu-ray. From what I understood, the transfers aren't that great, and also they're not going to play in my American Blu-ray player anyway, so no reason to get them. But you can get the Laserdisc version, which is the best version of the movie. And I believe this also comes with the 20 film set of Alfred Hitchcock that was released by Mill Creek, which, from what I understood from, and the site is actually called Brenton Films. I did link them last time, and it's a great site that really keeps track of all the Hitchcock stuff and all the different home video releases. But basically, all the Hitchcock films are not public domain, even though they've been released like they're public domain for a long time. A lot of the early stuff that he did in the 30s, and some, I think, even in the 40s. I believe even Sabotage was released in, this is 1936. Okay, so pretty close. It's not the 40s quite. But in that episode, I also mentioned that Secret Agent, I added this in the caption after the fact, Secret Agent is another movie that doesn't have a Blu-ray release anywhere. Actually, in France, they were going to do a Blu-ray release of it, but they found out the transfer is so awful that they were like, this isn't going to work for a Blu-ray. So, I would love to get Secret Agent on the Criterion Laserdisc as well. So I went through all the Criterion Hitchcock Laserdiscs, and I found out, yes, besides the ones that have been released by other companies or the ones that Criterion has now released on Blu-ray, there's 3 Criterion Laserdiscs that are still technically, in America, the best way to get those 3 movies. Sabotage, Young and Innocent, and Secret Agent. And Secret Agent is now also on the way. So buying a lot more Laserdiscs than I ever thought I would, but weirdly enough, some of these are the best way to get the movies. And even then, Secret Agent, you can't even find that movie. You can find it online. It's not public domain. If you go to the Brenton Films site, you find out it's not public domain. He has a very good explanation for it. And it's available on the Mill Creek box set, though. And it's released online, but they're all bad transfers. But it's not even a public domain film. So the best way to still get it is the Criterion Laserdisc. So that's why I'm still buying Laserdisc. So there's just a few more things still coming in the next couple days, so I certainly will be back next week unless something catastrophic happens or I'm just lazy. But in the meantime, thanks for watching this episode again. I really appreciate all the support and all the views and all the comments as well. It's just fun to discuss movies and Blu-rays, DVDs, Laserdiscs with everybody and to talk about their own collections, and especially when they got to correct me on something that I did wrong, because it's get me the best information as possible about some of these releases to make sure I'm doing all the right moves that I should be making. But thanks for watching. Leave a comment, a like, and use that bell icon to save YouTube. Thanks for watching. Thanks for watching the video, and special shout out to Anthony, Anna, Kirsten, Lukas, Ryan, and Robert for the support on Patreon. By joining my Patreon, you can get exclusive videos and blogs, and for only $7, you can request your own movie review. I hope you stick around, cinephile, and have a happy, productive day.